as you can see, today is June 6th, 2025, which is also the 81st anniversary since the D-Day invasion. And I want to pay out to all the respects of everyone that made that very difficult sacrifice. We totally appreciate your service and your bravery and courage to go through such a very, very, very difficult battle that really was. And that was considered the turning point of the war of World War II to defeat the enemy. And to all those that lost their lives during the invasion of Normandy, just wanted to say, rest in peace to all of you. Rest in the heavens, rest wherever you believe that you want to be rested. And we wish you all and the families all the very best that were directly impacted through that disaster. But nonetheless, we've got Mariners baseball to be covering, and must I say, it has been a disaster of a series for the Mariners. We've got the Seattle Mariners going up against the Los Angeles Angels, and boy, it has been a disaster of a week. It has been for the Mariners, where they lost 3 in a row. They got swept by Baltimore, and now the Mariners are going up against the Angels, where I want to see how the Angels are doing as of now. Let's see where they're at. Let's see. Angels in their last 10 games, they are 3-7, but the Mariners are struggling while the Astros are hot. So everyone but the Astros have been struggling. But if the Angels are struggling just as much as the Mariners are as of recent, then this is a great opportunity for the Mariners to take advantage and shake off the loss from Baltimore. Yeah, sweeping would be an absolute requirement just so they can make up for all those series losses. And let's hope that the Mariners can take care of business, because they are certainly going to have to. Very, very much. And now let's see how they do for this weekend. And yeah, let's look at the lineups for the Mariners. Yeah, Mariners are trying to look for that breaking that losing streak, because they've been awful. They're going to go up with Bryce Miller and Kyle Hendricks, not Howie Kendrick. Bryce Miller's been off to a struggling start. He is now 2-4 with a 5.36 ERA. Very uncharacteristic start for Bryce Miller. And now for the lineups, we got J.P. Crawford, Jorge Polanco, Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena, Rowdy Tellez, Leody Taveras, Cole Young, who is only 1 for 15, Ben Williamson. As for the Angels, we've got Zach Neto, Nolan Shanuel, Mike Trout, Taylor Ward, Jorge Soler, Arnold, can't even say his name, Rengifo, Joe Adell, and Chris Taylor, who I guess the Mariners should have added. Christian says, dare I say, Cubs Tigers is a World Series. Could be. Kyle Tucker, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Reese Beast. How's it going? It's going good. Sweep the Angels would be nice. 5-1 road trip would be brilliant. Let's go 6-0. Get back home at 37-30. That would be very ideal. Let's go for 38-29 instead. The game's about to start in about 4 minutes, and for the honor of the fallen troops for the D-Day invasion, because I want to dedicate this day to June 6, 1944, with that heroic invasion done by the United States, Canadians, and the British, I'm going to sing the national anthem. And if you'd like to, please stand. If not, well, freedom of speech, First Amendment. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, hoots, broad stripes, and bright stars through the perilous fight? For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, give proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. And that was myself doing the national anthem. It will also be followed up by God Bless America to once again pay the respects of the fallen veterans or the still possibly alive veterans of the Battle of June 6th, Normandy invasion of 1944. But now let's get back into baseball. We got Kyle Hendricks. He is 2-6 with a 5.34 ERA. So you would think that this is a very opportunistic opportunity for the Mariners to actually get something going, because they are going to have to, because they have been struggling. They got swept by Baltimore, especially not a very good team who had just fired their manager, Brandon Hyde. But Hendricks has got a changeup, a sinker, four-seam fastball, and a curveball. So the sinker is going to be the tough one to swing at, because a sinker is basically a fastball with a breaking on it, with like a sinker. And JP Crawford is awaiting to be on the bat. Game's about to start in 1 minute. So let's get right to it. Can I get some water? And looks like we got first pitch almost underway. And this first pitch will still be brought to you by, let me find out. I know it's SeatGeek. But yeah, it's going to be SeatGeek. And also, if you can, hit that like button, subscribe, and also donate to this channel, as the goal is always 50. And single donation record was done by William Cook, one of the beloved members of my channel. JP Crawford, he is getting ready up to bat. He is ready to go. And now it's going to be the very first pitch. And now here is the first pitch. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike one. And we are underway here in Anaheim Stadium. And that was actually a four-seam fastball. He's got a pretty slow fastball, must I say, as we're at 0-1 for JP Crawford. And now here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike two. Yeah, JP Crawford has had a decent season so far, but I don't know how long it's really going to last. I mean, last homestand, sure, JP Crawford hit 406 with 1 home run and 3 RBIs, but we need him to stay consistent, as now we're at 0-2 for JP. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball. Ball 1-2. His WRC plus is actually 140. So JP Crawford's actually having a pretty good season so far. Now we're at 1-2. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be popped up. And that's going to be foul ball, well out of play. And now we're at 1-2. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be popped up. And that is going to be a foul ball. And we'll try this again. JP Crawford is fighting it. And he's been dealing with a couple of change-ups. And I shouldn't look at the ESPN thing. It spoiled it. And now we're at 1-2 for JP. And now here is the 1-2 pitch. And that is a swing and a miss, strike three on a changeup. And that is going to be 1 out. Next up is going to be Jorge Polanco. Yep, he got him on the changeup. Looks like this could be a long game for the Mariners, just because that felt really slow. So much for the pitch clock, I guess. Yep, Jorge needs to be better in June. That is an absolute understatement. And my Root Sports feed just keeps pooping out as Jorge Polanco is already at an 0-1 count so far. Jorge Polanco had a batting average of 384, and it went all the way down to 253. So he had a really atrocious month of May. And Edgar Martinez actually traveling with the team. The pitch. Now here's a line drive, ground ball. That's going to get right through. No, not going to get through. Fielded by the shortstop, throw to first, not in time. And now we've got a man on first base. That is Jorge Polanco. And next up is going to be Julio Rodriguez. He's batting 244. I guess he's been picking up just a little bit, but he is not playing as the superstar that the Mariners need him to be. 9 pitches for Hendricks so far. Julio is batting 244 in 9 pitches. Now Julio set, here it is, and that's going to be a foul ball, fouled back, and that's going to be strike 1. Julio in May and June, he batted 231, didn't really hit that much better. Now he's batting 241 in April. That's the offense, the pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to second base, throw to second base, and the throw to first in time for the double play. And that was actually to third base, my bad. And that's going to retire the side. And once again, Julio's production continues to struggle. And we go to the bottom of the first inning, only 1 hit done by Jorge Polanco. And we will go into commercial break. Well, that was a quick one. And now I might as well record an upcoming video that I'm actually going to make. It's going to be about... It's going to be about Julio Rodriguez. And I'm going to start reading the script right now. And this Root Sports thing is really bad. It just keeps glitching. I'm making a video about Julio Rodriguez, telling him that he's just not good right now. It says, the most maddening part of watching Julio Rodriguez play baseball isn't the whiffs or called the strikeouts. It's that you can still see the talent, the flashes, and the bursts of baseball brilliance. He'll go through a week where he's launching 450-foot bombs, stealing bases with ease, gliding in the center field like prime Andruw Jones. Then he'll disappear. Then we see breaking balls in the dirt swung on and missed, meek grounders tapped to short, whining in the dugout, and a player who looks checked out. Let's look at the monthly splits from 2024, the most recent full season. They tell the story better than any words can. April, he sleptwalked through the first month. May was a little bit better. June was dreadful. July was MVP level. August was cold again, and then September through October was a strong finish. And now here's Bryce Miller. Now here's the pitch, and that is going to be low for a ball. So I guess I'm going to read anything that says there. I'm going to try to multitask and make the video at the same time, and you guys get to be a part of it, seeing it. And now we're at 1-0 for Neto. And now here is the pitch. Now here's a grounder, and that's going to be bouncing off of Ben Williamson. Here's J.P. Crawford, no play. And Ben Williamson seems to bobble the ball once in a while, and now that's the first hit given up by Bryce Miller. Where's my water bottle? That's what I want to know. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Ben Williamson had a play. Now he's been struggling quite a bit on the defensive end. I mean, it's still better than Jorge Polanco when he started at third base, but it's starting to show some struggles on defense. Now here's Nolan Schanuel. And the throw to first. And that is not in time. Nolan Schanuel is batting .275 with 3 home runs and 18 RBIs. He was a draftee from the 2023 MLB draft. Actually got called up just a couple months later. Now here's the pitch, and that's going to be popped up, and that might be playable. Here's Ben Williamson, and he makes the catch, and that is going to be 1 out. So Bryce Miller gets that quick first out. And now it's going to be Mike Trout, the most dangerous, one of the best players that we've seen in baseball history. Mike Trout, though, is struggling this season. He's batting just .228. And he has been dealing with injuries once again. He has 10 home runs and 23 RBIs. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be right in there for a strike. You were gone for 1 minute, and Julio grounds into a double play. Yeah, he did. And he should be embarrassed by it because he's been absolutely atrocious as of recent. It's 0 for 1. 0-1 on Mike Trout. And now here's the pitch. And now here's a ball now to throw to second. Not even close. Not exactly a good throw by Cal Raleigh. And now we got a stolen base. Now that takes away the double play. It was just a bad throw by Cal Raleigh. It was just way off course. That's why Zach Neto's at second base. And looks like, are they reviewing the call? I wonder what's going on.
The Mariners haven't been able to challenge a play. They haven't had something worth challenging since they were in Sacramento playing the A's. It's been forever. Let's take a look here.
Maybe he could have been off the bag. Yeah. Looks like he is off the bag. Looking for the review.
I've been able to say Andy Bissell's name very much recently. It has been a long time.
I know. And for somebody that we adore so much.
Still reviewing the call. I mean, there's clearly enough evidence to overturn it. I mean, he was off the bag. Yeah, he's off the bag. I don't know. Runners out on second base. Caught stealing. He was off the bag, and now we've got 2 outs.
This was not the intent of the replay to be able to, find that, 1/1000th of a second where he loses contact with the bag, and you still got the tag on him. But really good job by Phil Young there, helping Bryce out.
Now we got 1-1 for Mike Trout. And now here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Congratulations in order that your long-standing Big Ten stolen base record has now been broken. Is this correct? Do I understand this?
It did happen, apparently. It did happen in a conference that I never played in.
And now the 1-2. And that's going to be a fly ball, and that's going to be a foul ball.
Just the other day, it was broken by a very talented player from Oregon.
So another Big Ten powerhouse.
Yeah.
We're at 1-2 for Mike Trout. 7 pitches for Miller so far. And now the 1-2 pitch. And now here's a fly ball to right field, and that is still going to be a foul ball.
So I had the Pac-12 stolen base record, but somebody in Arizona beat it. There's 59 stolen bases. Arizona beat it, so I'm second. I was no longer the Pac-12.
Now we're at 1-2 for Mike Trout. And now the pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball.
Trout has been fantastic since coming off the injured list. He's batting close.
We're at 2-2. Now here's the 2-2 pitch. Now here's a ground ball and diving stop by Ben Williamson. Throw to first, and that is in time. A great play by Ben Williamson, and that is going to retire the side. And now let's get to doing the Julio voiceover. Gonna do that right now. The most maddening part of watching Julio Rodriguez play baseball isn't the whiffs or called the strikeouts or the called strikeouts. It's that you can see the talent, the flashes, and bursts of baseball brilliance. He'll go through a week where he's launching 450-foot bombs, stealing bases with ease, gliding in center field like prime Andruw Jones, then he'll disappear. Then we see breaking balls in the dirt swung on and missed, meat grounders tapped to short, whining in the dugout, and a player who looks checked out. Let's look at the monthly splits from the 2024, the most recent full season. They tell the story better than any words can. In April, he slept walk through the first month. In May, he did a little bit better. In June, he was absolutely dreadful. In July, he was hitting at MVP level. Then August, he went cold again. And September and October, he had that strong finish. And his OPS in July 1st was a 1.122. His OPS in June was a 0.574. That's not development. That's a light switch being flipped on and flipped off. And the problem in 2025, he hasn't flipped it on at all. Pitchers have adapted. Julio hasn't. The league figured him out. Pitchers know his swing decisions aren't just aggressive. They're often reckless, predictable, and at times high school JV level. They bait him with sliders off the plate and four-seamers up. And more often than not, he obliges. His whiff rate is alarming, not just for a supposed MVP candidate, but for any starting outfielder. His swing decisions often seem reactive rather than calculated. There's no plan, no adjustment, just brute force and hope. And now here's Cal Raleigh as we are back from the break. As we're looking at 1-0, the pitch, and that's going to be in there for a strike. And that is a 1-0 count, or 1-1, as that is a 1-1. Yep. Cal Raleigh in his last homestand batted .343, 7 home runs, and 14 RBIs. And now here is the pitch. And now here's a grounder right to second base. The toss over the first, and that's going to be in time, and that's going to be 1 out. And next up is going to be Randy Arozarena, who is also off to a struggling start. He's batting .213 with 7 home runs and 25 RBIs. Like, again, he's really got to get that going. And now here's Hendricks, and now here is the pitch. And that's going to be right in there for a strike. He didn't even take an attempt on that one. Very concerning. And now we're at 0-1. And now here's the 0-1. And that's going to be outside for a ball. 1-1 for Arozarena. Mariners have actually the 5th best defensive team in Major League Baseball. They are ranked 5th in fielding percentage. Now we're at 1-1 for Randy Arozarena. And now the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. 2-1. Arozarena's batting .213. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball, strike 2 for Randy. Kendricks is at 18 pitches so far. Miller had a pretty decent inning. Was kind of a little bit bailed out. Arozarena has a strikeout rate of 30%. And now here is the pitch. Now here's a ground ball foul. We're at 2-2 for Randy. And while I'm looking up now while we're waiting on Randy to get in that bat or get a swing at it, let's see where I'm at. And now we're at 2-2 for Randy Arozarena. And now here's the pitch. And now here's a ground ball chopper right to third base. Easy play, throw to first. And that is in time. And as for the amount of shows I have done so far, I am now on 29, getting close to 30. Magic number is now 71. However, I will not be able to do any of the games for the rest of the series against the Angels. I'll be doing it against, I'll do 2 of 3 at Arizona Diamondbacks, where I will have an opportunity at the Monday game and the Wednesday game. So I'll have my chances here. Now here's Rowdy Tellez. Now here's the pitch, and that's going to be right in there for a strike. Now we're at 0-1 for Rowdy Tellez. And now here's the pitch. And now here is a liner to left field. And that is going to be a foul ball. That was really close. And now we're at 0-2 on Rowdy Tellez. Now we're at 0-2, and now here's the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball, 1-2. Rowdy is the Burger King version of Joey Gallo, isn't he? Now we're at 1-2, and the pitch. Now here's a fly ball to center field, but Joe Adell's going to be there, and he makes the catch. And that's going to be 2-way already. Next up is going to be, Leody Taveras. Actually, no, that was a 1-2-3 inning. Excuse me. And now it's time to go back into my recording. When pitchers started to challenge Aaron Judge differently, he adapted. When pitchers realized Ronald Acuna Jr. could be neutralized by spin, he adjusted. Bobby Witt Jr. is only just emerging, and already shows better pitch recognition than Julio does now in his 4th year. Julio, he hasn't changed, except he's now getting worse at baseball, and at times is just downright bad at playing baseball. This is where things get frustrating for Mariners fans. It doesn't look like a physical problem. Julio's still built like a superhero. He's still built even better than Alex Rodriguez was at his juicing peak with the Yankees. He still covers ground in center field. His sprint speed still ranks near the top of the league. His arm is a cannon, regularly clocked north of 100 miles an hour. So why does he disappear? The answer may be mental. Some guys are wired to grind to dominate. Some guys are wired to grind to dominate every at bat and to hate losing. Julio, for all his charisma, doesn't project that killer instinct. At times, he looks disengaged and detached, as if he's waiting for something to click instead of making it happen. He is one of the most talented athletes in baseball, but he's not locked in consistently. And for a franchise player, that's not acceptable. That's unacceptable. And we are back from the break, and now here's a pop-up to Randy Arozarena, Julio, and he makes the catch, and that is going to be 1 away. You're talking to Brad Adam at the moment. And now here is Jorge Soler, who's batting .216. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. The 0-1 to Soler. And that's going to be inside for a ball. One and one so far. Bryce Miller pitching pretty efficiently. 14 pitches, only in the bottom of the second inning. Now here is the 1-1. Now here's a ground ball right to Ben Williamson. He's been busy. Throw to first in time. And now we've got one down. And the next batter is going to be, I can't even pronounce his name, Travis Darnold. I'm going to ask Google and see how you pronounce that name. Travis d'Arnaud. Now here's Travis d'Arnaud at the plate. And now here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike one. That was a fastball right down the middle. And now we're at 0-1. And now here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike two. Reese Beast, you tried to tell Mariners Mojo the other day about Julio Rodriguez. He did not like my opinion. They don't like anyone's opinions. That's the reason why they blocked me on Twitter X. They don't like me either. They got offended when I even tried to correct the pronunciation of a Korean name, a Korean baseball player. And as we got strike three, and that is going to retire the side already. An easy 1-2-3 inning for the Mariners. We go to the top of the third inning. It is still no score whatsoever. And now back to my recording of this video. The age excuse. Every time someone brings up Julio's inconsistency, defenders shout the same thing. He's still young. And sure, he's 24, but this year is 4. But this is year 4, and in Major League Baseball, experience matters more than age. If you've seen thousands of big league pitchers, if you've seen thousands of big league pitches, you're not a rookie anymore. Here's the reality. Juan Soto had a .999 OPS at the age of 22. Acuna nearly went 40-40 before turning 25. Bobby Witt Jr. is a Gold Glove shortstop with 30-plus home run power and far fewer strikeouts. These guys improved with experience. Julio, on the other hand, he has done the opposite. Instead, he's become a worse and worse baseball player with each passing season. Young is not a shield. You don't get a participation ribbon because you're younger than Mike Trout. Julio's been handed the keys to the franchise. He's not being asked to be a role player. He is being asked to lead. And right now, he's not even pulling his weight. This is the part that scares me. The Mariners and their fans the most, the contract. Julio signed a deal that could stretch into the 2030s. At the time, it seemed like a steal. Now, it's starting to look like an anchor. If he doesn't turn it around, if this version of Julio is the one that sticks, the Mariners will be paying superstar money for a league average production. That's not just disappointing, it's devastating. It kills flexibility, it limits what they can do in free agency, and worst of all, it undermines everything the Mariners were building toward. Seattle has very good young pitching. They drafted well, but without an offensive engine, they're just a middling team with good arms, and Julio was supposed to be that engine. He was the Ferrari in the garage. Right now, he's stuck in neutral. And now we got Leody Taveras as we are back from the break. As he takes it for a ball. And now here is the 1-0 pitch. And that is going to be in there for a strike. And that's going to be a 1-1 count for Leody Taveras. Killing two birds with one stone. I'm doing a recording during commercial break. Maybe that's more efficient. Now you guys get to see my behind the scenes stuff. Now here's the 1-1. And that's going to be popped up and foul. I think that's a pretty cool idea where you guys get to see all the behind the scenes work that I'm doing to make some more content, because I think I'm more of an edited video guy than a podcasting guy. And now we're at 1-2. He doesn't think Julio is the problem. And I'm like, he's the Mariners superstar. While it's not completely entirely his fault that the Mariners are like this, but he really needs to pull his weight, along with Randy Arozarena. The 1-2, and that is inside for a ball. I mean, Mojo doesn't like. I think Mojo, they're just trying really hard to be like part of 710 Seattle Sports Radio or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, it kind of ruins the whole point of hearing someone else's opinion. Very, very childish of them. And yet they are the most popular Mariners YouTuber platform in the Mariners community. The pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to second base, tossed over the first in time. I mean, I've seen a lot of different opinions, and I just dropped something kind of important. I mean, I've seen a lot of different opinions on this channel. I think Race Beast, I don't think we're 100% on page. Kevin Kirby, we're not on 100% on page with Kevin Kirby, but I'm willing to listen to any opinions. I'm not going to block anyone. If anyone wants to say something, just go for it. And now we're at Cole Young, who's batting 067. Now he's got to step up, and now here's the pitch, and that's going to be in there for a strike. Cole Young, the only base hit he got was in the bottom of the 9th inning against the Minnesota Twins on last Saturday. And the fact that I can remember that says a lot. As now we're at 0-1 for Cole Young. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. That was in the inside. And that is going to be 0-2. I would really hope that Cole Young can really get it going. You don't want a young prospect to be batting like this, because the last thing you want is to have him sent down. As we are at 0-2 for Cole Young. Supposed to be one of the stars of the future for the Mariners, one of the best prospects. The 0-2 pitch, and that's going to be low for a ball. 1-2. And now we're at 1-2, and a swing and a miss, strike 3, and down goes Cole Young. And the struggle of Cole Young just continues, unfortunately. And now we're at Ben Williamson. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. Now, Reese Beast, like, which video was it that you made that comment about Julio Rodriguez? I want to see the video. I'm really curious about it. So if you can link me the video where you made that comment and they disagreed, let me know. I want to read it myself. As we're at 0-1 for Williamson. And now here's a ground ball chopper, and that is going to be fielded, and that is way off course. And Ben Williamson, he'll get in first base. So I think that may be a single, and that's going to be man on first base. That's going to be up to J.P. Crawford to see what he can do. Yeah, pickup, sorry. I'm very curious about the mojo. I want to know what exactly was said. Crazy thing is they actually blocked me. It was the Mariners game. They lost 3-2. Was it on the live stream or was it just a video? And did they respond to you, or did they react to you? Like, what was it? Did they react to what you said? And now let's find out. And now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. They responded to you twice. You think it was the live stream. It was the game where they lost 3-2. And now we're at 0-1. Now the pitch. And that is going to be in there for a strike. Exactly what point was it when they responded to you? Like, what time was it exactly in the video? It's about... I'm going to try to find you. Hey, Josh, how's it going? The pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike for J.P. Crawford. That's going to be 1-1. He said, don't bring up Canzone. Why get rid of Tavares? Someone put in $5 for the mojo. And now we're at 1-2 for JP Crawford. And now it's going to be throw to first. Julio didn't pick the runner from third. Yeah, I'm really curious, like, which point of the video was it? Like, what exactly... Is that exactly what you said? Julio didn't pick the runner from third? And now we're at 1-2, the pitch. And now here's a ball in the throw to second. That is way off course. But because it was covered by Joe Adell, Ben Williamson cannot go anywhere. I'm seeing the comments that sorry guys for the Julio hate, but just frustrated right now. Huh. Gonna figure it out. So it's about the middle. And now we're at 2-2. And now the pitch. Now here's a liner to right field, and that is going to be a base hit. Is Ben Williamson going to score? He is going to try to. The throw to the plate cut off by Nolan Shanuel, and the Mariners now take a 1-0 lead on an RBI single by J.P. Crawford. And what a way for the Mariners to get on the board. And now it's the Mariners 1 and the Angels 0. Nice hit by J.P. Crawford. It was a nice, beautiful liner to right field, scoring in Ben Williamson easily. Now here's Jorge Polanco up to the plate. Now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. Still trying to find your Julio comment, Reese Beast. If you can look at it through yourself, let me know if you can find it, because I really want to see it. And now we're at 1-0. And now here's the pitch. Now here's a ground ball. That's gonna be a play to first, and that's gonna be in time. But the Mariners do get 1 run, and they do take the lead. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It is now 1-0 Mariners. And excuse me while I do some more recording. Let's do this. Here's a question, Seattle fans. Here's a question Seattle fans don't want to hear, but need to ask. Is it time to boo him? Not in a cruel scapegoat way, but in a wake the hell up way. In New York, you get booed for underperforming. Stanton, Judge, A-Rod, it's not personal. It's the standard. You produce or you hear it. Julio's been coddled. The local media tiptoes around him. The team runs PR campaigns to make him the face of the city, but he is not producing. If this were Yankee Stadium, fans would be chanting MVP sarcastically every time he struck out with runners on. And if this were Philly, the boos would be deafening. But in Seattle, too many fans are still clinging to what he could be instead of confronting what he is. Maybe it's time to change that. Julio can still be a star. Let's not get it twisted. The tools are there, and he's not washed. He's not a bust, but he is at a crossroads. And what does what he does next will define his career. All right, I'm going to take a break from there. I think the money is weighing Julio's pockets down. Oh, you think so, don't you? Still looking for the Reese Beast comments. All I got is sorry for the Julio hate. Wonder if you said it in the beginning of the video. Now we're back from the break, and now here is Bryce Miller, the pitch, and that's going to be inside for a ball. Now we're at 1-0 for Rengifo. Now we're at 1-0, and now here's the pitch. And that is going to be low for a ball, 2-0. All right, I'm trying to listen to it myself. Now we're at 2-0. And now here's 2-0. And that's going to be a foul ball, 2-1. I'm at the point about 5 minutes.
Honestly, Julio needs to play better. Reese, I don't know how to help you, bro. I don't know how to help you, Reese. I don't know.
I think I heard it. And now we're at 2-1. And now here's the pitch. Now here's a ground ball. No, it's not a double play ball, but an easy throw to first. And that is in time for the first out.
Julio needs to play better. Reese, I don't know how to help you, bro. I don't know how to help you, Reese. I don't know, man. There's no help. I don't think there's any help. $2 from Levi. Why wait for the deadline? I'm sure if the Mariners could get a trade done right now, Levi, they would.
So all he says was he doesn't have help.
The team you're trading for, I would send Cole down. The team.
Wow. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike.
$2 from Levi. You know, you need the guys in your lineup to start producing. Honestly, Julio needs to play better. Reese, I don't know how to help you, bro.
Wow. All he says was now the 0-1 and a swing and a miss. And that is going to be strike 2 for Jo Adell.
Honestly, Julio needs to play better. Reese, I don't know how to help you, bro. I don't know how to help you, Reese. I don't know, man.
He says, I don't know how to help you. Like, wow. He really said that. Now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a foul back. But yeah, Julio Rodriguez absolutely needs to be held accountable. If he's the superstar of the team, he should not be batting 240. Oh, but he doesn't have lineup protection. You know what that is? You know what that sounds like? Someone type it in and tell me what that sounds like. And now we're at 0-2 for Jo Adell. And now here's the pitch. And now here's a liner to left field. And that is Randy Arozarena making the catch. Oh, check at 6:30 on the live stream, huh? So I'm going to bookmark it at 5:22 and go to 6:30. All right, I'm looking forward to this.
$500 million. That only happens if he's an MVP. $1 million. Hey, Reese, they haven't paid him $500 million. That only happens if he's an MVP.
So you're just saying Julio could have done better. Seattle paid him $500 million.
You know what I mean? Like,
Man, he was really just getting triggered, wasn't he?
$500 million. That only happens if he's an MVP.
At least you agreed with each other.
Otherwise, he's making pretty minimal money. I want to look into his contract, buddy.
Man, you really got to his head. Now here's a liner ground ball, and that's gonna be a base hit. That's gonna be Chris Taylor, and that is going to be a single for Chris Taylor. And now he's on first base. I'm a senior in high school. I don't have time to check all this, bro. What? So you're a senior in high school. Okay, here's the thing. Aren't you on senioritis time? Aren't you getting close to graduation? I mean, didn't you already get your colleges accepted or whatever you're trying to do after high school? Like, what's your plan? I'm curious. The pitch. That's outside for a ball. Man, you really got to his head. You know what? That gives you a badge of honor just for getting to his head. Yeah, Mojo does not like me at all. They don't like me. No one really does. Oh, last day of this junior year just happened. Now the pitch. And now here's a strike, and I'll go throw a second. And that is obviously not in time. Good news that there is 2 outs, though. So Mariners still have a chance to get out of this inning pretty smoothly. No, but Julio needs to be held accountable. Do you want a stream partner? Yeah, Josh, because I am... You know what? Fine. Yeah, you're... Let me finish my recording first, because I'm still making my Julio video recording. It's a video about holding Julio accountable, and he needs to be held accountable. The pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. When you're the superstar of the team batting around 240 to 230, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Yeah, it's true.
What was it that Ty and Colby said yesterday? It's a pretty good litmus test.
And now we're at 1-2. And now here's the pitch. Low for a ball, and that's going to be 2-2. Yeah. Colby and Joe, they're an interesting duo, I must say that. I mean, Jay Tried and I, we're pretty much the duo, but we still do our own independent thing, though. As we're at 2-2 for Zach Neto, who got thrown out earlier in the game. Now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball, and that's going to get right through for a base hit. He is being waved home, and here's the throw by Randy Arozarena. Throw to the plate, and it's bobbled by Cal Raleigh. And now the Angels get on the board, and now they have tied this game on a two-out single. Scoring in Chris Taylor. And now this game is tied. And let me see what Randy Arozarena really could have done. He really had a shot, and it was just an awful throw by Randy. But I think if Cal Raleigh caught that, maybe there could have been a chance to tag him out. I don't know. It was the throw wasn't great, but Randy's he just doesn't have a good throwing arm. Now here's Nolan Shanuel, the throw to first, and that is going to be not in time. Not exactly a good way to start this. And as you can tell on my YouTube channel, I did change my logo to green and gold, in case you haven't noticed. Now we're at 0-1. No, what's the pitch? It's just the first pitch. Now the pitch. Now here's a strike and the throw to second base, and not in time again. Cal Raleigh's having a difficult time throwing guys out. Yep, I'm doing that because Oklahoma is playing, and there's also the looming expansion meeting. So at least, I guess until there's some kind of news, I'm going to keep that logo on. So I know you know me as the purple and the white or whatever. I'm going to do green and gold for now. And maybe that could be my permanent logo, the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to center field. Running is Julio Rodriguez, and he does make the catch, and that is going to retire the side. We go to the top of the fourth inning. This ball game is tied. And now I'm going to do the last parts of my recording. And wow, that was a very long recording, I guess. Here's what needs to happen. Number one, fix the swing decisions. Julio needs to stop chasing, period. Until he shrinks his zone and commits to punishing strikes, he'll be a streaky mess. Number two, work the count. His walk rate is pathetic for a player of his caliber. He doesn't make the pitchers work. He doesn't flip the script. Number three, stay locked in. Enough of the hot cold cycles. True stars show up every month, not just when they feel good. Number four, own the role. You're the face of the team. Act like it. Be accountable. Be vocal. Don't let fans or teammates wonder where you went. Number five, block out the noise. Julio has to stop listening to his own hype. The Nike ads, the celebrity treatment, none of that matters if he's hitting 260 with 15 home runs. But in reality, right now, he's batting less than 250. What happens if he doesn't? If Julio Rodriguez doesn't turn it around, the Mariners aren't just stuck with a contract. They're stuck in limbo. Their identity was built around him. Their hope, their marketing, their free agency pitch, all centered on Julio being that guy. If he plateaus, everything else starts to crack. They won't attract top-tier bats. They'll waste the years. Okay, I have to stop. And Josh, I might just bring you in anyway. Get ready. I only have like less than a page left anyway. Yeah, the Julio MLB Heroes ad, it's really cringe, and I'm a huge Mariners fan. And now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to left field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. and Julio gets on base with a single. And also, which logo do you like better? Do you like my original logo or do you like the Sonics logo? I'm actually curious to see. But I think the Sonics logo might blend in well, and I might just keep it for a long time. And now here's Cal Raleigh up to the plate as Julio had a nice bloop single. And now here's the pitch. And now here is a liner, and that's going to get off the glove for a base hit. And oh, not just a base hit. Actually, that was a really close one. I guess I'm going to keep the green and gold. I want people to know that I'm a Sonics guy. And so the Mariners do catch a break. So now we got runners on first and second, but Randy Arozarena is going to be up. Oh, there he is. How's it going, Josho?
Oh, it's good. You know, I got the high ground.
You underestimate my power.
Yes, these little mini lightsabers.
And that is going to be outside for a ball. That is 1-0. And strangely enough, I've actually been playing quite a bit of Star Wars. I started playing Rogue Squadron and Rogue Leader.
Oh, Rogue Squadron.
Now we're at 1-0 for Randy Arozarena. And now the pitch. And inside, and that nearly got him. And that's going to be 2-0. If I want to really sound like a cynical, you know what? Randy should have took one for the team because he's wearing elbow pads anyway.
Yeah, pull Craig Biggio.
Yeah, as we're at 2-0. And now the pitch runner goes, and that is a strike to throw. No throw. And Julio actually gets the third base. And now we have runner from 90 feet. And by the way, so I do work at a job where I run recess games. Mostly I just run baseball as an umpire/catcher so the kids can steal bases.
Yeah.
There was a kid decked out in Houston Astros gear.
Yeah, represent.
In freaking Washington State. What is up with that?
Represent,
as we're at 2-1 for Randy the pitch. Inside for a ball, 3-1 for Randy Arozarena. And as you can tell, I'm recording a video really just ripping Julio apart, and I think he deserves it. He is not living up to the hype.
It's just kind of like, it's weird when you look at, because
3-1 to Arozarena. Up high for ball 4, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
Yeah.
And what exactly can go wrong?
Triple play.
Triple play could absolutely happen.
You could actually get an unassisted triple play here.
You never know. Oh, so you were saying?
Well, it actually reminds me of back in 2022 when they were handing out the awards, and there was a comparison of Pena versus Julio. And they're all like, who would you rather be? Julio's got the award, he's got the money, or would you be Pena, who got the World Series ring?
I saw that.
They debuted the exact same season, and they kind of had different trajectories where Pena, he really came in that playoffs, and then really for a few years kind of figured things out, but we're not paying him a lot. So people are grateful for what he did in the playoffs, but they're not expecting, huge things from him.
At least not yet.
And now he's starting to really show up because Baseball Reference.
Because who else is there? Jordan is hurt.
Well, yeah, Jordan is hurt with one of our many complaints with the.
Now here's Tellez. Now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to deep right field. And that is going to be caught right at the warning track. But tagging at third should be Julio Rodriguez. Actually, wait, the throw does. Yeah, Julio does score. So the Mariners do take a 2-1 lead. And that looked like it was going to go. The camera made it convincing, but it was caught by the right fielder. So I guess the Marine layer is. Oh, the Burger King had it. I think he barely just got under it.
The Marine layer is just following the Mariners around now,
Yeah, so much for that T-Mobile Park narrative.
And just imagine they're in like a completely domed stadium and the Marine layer. It's the Marine layer.
It could still happen. but Tellez does get the runner home, so you got to give him that. And there's
Yeah.
still just one out, two runners
not
in
a
scoring
triple play.
position. So you can't really get, it's hard to get the double play unless something really ridiculous happens.
Yeah.
Now the pitch, and that's going to be a strike for Leody Taveras, and that's going to be an 0-1. Taveras is batting .212 with 3 home runs and 16 RBIs, also not exactly contributing to the level that we would like to see. But when it comes to running and scoring, runners in scoring position, he's batting .325. And now here's the pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball. But I do wonder if those numbers are inflated by Texas.
They might be.
That's my curious question. Is we're at
Texas
1-1.
Broadside of a barn, or did you happen to see their loss to the
1-1.
Rays?
Now here's a chopper to the shortstop, throw to first in time, but that should be scoring another run as Cal Raleigh scores, and the Mariners now take a 3-1 lead, and now they're doing this small ball approach, which I'm not opposed to. As long as you're getting runs, that's okay.
Yeah.
At least you're not living and dying by the home run. But yes, I would have rather see a Rowdy Tellez grand slam, but better than striking out.
Or no, triple play.
Yeah, exactly. So
that would have just been all like.
and now here's Cole Young, and he's really got to get it going. He's batting .063 on the season. Now the pitch, and now here's a liner and foul. Usually when you see someone starting out like that, you question if he was even ready. But at this point, it's like I don't even think it's about being ready. I think it's just about being able to rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
Now we're at 0-1.
Squad A players.
Now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to right field, and that is going to do it for this inning. And he makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. It was a really good hit. He just happened to get a little bit under it. And now we're going to go into the top or bottom of the 4th inning. And now I got to record because I still have another last half of a video. So everyone must be silent. All right, it's just me talking. All right, I'm going to hit record and action. They won't attract top-tier bats. They'll waste years of prime pitching from this amazing starting rotation. They likely won't be able to afford Cal Raleigh at the end of his contract extension. They'll go back to being the team that almost breaks through, but never quite does. And the fan base, they'll lose hope again. Julio's time as a shiny new toy is over. The grace period has ended. The numbers are what they are. The patterns are clear. No more excuses. No more spin. No more waiting. He has the power to be one of the best players in baseball, but right now, he's not even one of the best. He's not even one of the best. He's not even one of the 5 best outfielders in the division. This isn't a slump. This is who he is right now. And unless something changes, unless Julio Rodriguez finally grows into the player he was always supposed to be, the Mariners will be stuck chasing a dream that never quite materialized. Seattle's not asking for perfection. They're asking for fight. And if Julio can show that, then maybe he deserves. And if Julio can't show that, then maybe he deserves the boos. Maybe he needs to hear the chants. Because at this point, the silence isn't working. It's time to wake up, Julio, or Seattle will move on without you. And cut. That is the rest of the video. So now I just got to slap in a bunch of footages together. And Josh, you may come back unless you just went to take a little bathroom break. Well, I guess he'll be back momentarily, and we are back from the break. Now here's Mike Trout, who's fighting a 1-1 count thus far. And now here is the 1-1 pitch. And now here's a fly ball to center field, and that's actually going to be quite a run. And Julio gets it, and he makes the catch, and that is going to be 1 away. Bryce Miller looking good so far, 38 pitches in 4 innings. Then talk about being efficient. Yep, so I got my clips.
That's good.
And now here's the pitch. Now here's a fly ball to center field, but there's some running going on. Actually, Julio is there, and he makes the catch, and that is going to be 2 outs already. Bryce Miller is pitching more like his 2024 self, which is very encouraging to see. And now we got 2 outs. Mike Nintendo Master says, "Go Mariners." Did you get the Nintendo Switch too? Because I'm not. And now the pitch. Now here's a liner to center field, and that is going to be a base hit by Jorge Soler. So we got a man on first base. He says he strongly dislikes the Stros, but wishes the Mariners had a front office and ownership like they do. You have not yet. Do you plan to get the Nintendo Switch 2? Because I don't, but I heard the Nintendo Switch 2 now has the GameCube.
Yes, it does. For the expansion pass, like the expansion pack for Switch Online, it does give you GameCube games now.
And now here's Travis. I can't even say his name, Darno. And now here's the pitch. And that is a swing and a miss, strike 1. GameCube for original Switch. I wonder if that's possible.
No.
They
do.
What? So I have to fork over? Yeah, I'll pass.
Well, I plan to look next year to get it. This
Maybe
year's
I'll. Yeah.
not good.
No, it's not. That's not a good time. They just don't have the games. Like, I do, and I know you don't plan on it. If they give me Rogue Leader and Rebel Strike, I'll budge. And now we're at 0-2. And now here's the pitch. And now here's a fly ball drilled to left field. Forget about that one. The game is tied, and that was a huge home run by the Angels. That was done by Travis, and this ball game is tied. That was just absolutely just bombed. I can tell that something was up because Paul Hahn said that he said, "Oh no," and then you were like, "Ooh." And
Well, because I
like,
happened to look over and I just noticed they were walking the bases. I was like, ooh, I know what that was.
Yeah, this ball game is tied, and so much for saying that Bryce Miller was off to a great start, and now he is back to his usual
Just
self.
knock on wood.
I guess it's my fault. I'll take the responsibility, but the Mariners have to carry that responsibility with me with their incompetence.
But at least you weren't some of the people. Did you hear about the people on Staten Island who bought a Switch? So they
now here's a
pre-ordered
ground ball to Tellez, and that's gonna be out. But here's the frustrating part of that inning. Have you noticed that the Angels have scored with 2 outs?
They
That's
got that
concerning.
Astros energy.
They got that 2 what so what mojo.
Well, yeah, that's like what the Astros do all the time.
Yeah, so you were saying about guys on the island about the Nintendo Switch. What happened?
So Staten Island people pre-ordered it from GameStop, and some worker at the Staten Island GameStop decided, I'm going to staple the receipt on the box. People then opened the box and saw that their Nintendo Switch 2 had the staple in it on the screen. So it ruined the system.
Hold on. Give me a moment. Give me just a moment. I guess I'm okay. Yeah. So yeah, great. They just did the screen. Great. I wonder if that's going to kill GameStop stocks for that.
Well, at least whoever the idiot was is probably going to get fired.
Probably.
Well, why did you staple the receipt? Why didn't you just do a sticker?
Or a tape job.
Well, yeah, or, whenever you sent it in the box, that was probably when you sent the pre-order out. Why didn't you just throw the receipt in the box?
I'm still wondering, though, off topic. I wonder why Rogue Leader has not been on any re-releases yet. I mean, I think people would jump on that.
Licensing. That's
Has to
probably
be.
what it's been.
Even though Factor 5 is a dead company.
Well, and honestly, it wouldn't surprise me here in the coming years just because there's been a lot of interest in late 90s, early 2000s Star Wars games. It wouldn't surprise me if Disney decided just to do a remaster re-release. Like it could be already being worked on and it will just come out here in the next few years.
Trying to look up this Factor 5 thing. Now here's the pitch, and that's going to be low for a ball. Factor 5 was defunct in 2011. I wonder who acquired them. And now it's Ben Williamson. And now the pitch. And now here's a liner to right center field, and that is going to be a base hit. And Ben Williamson is actually contributing. He's going to second base, and the throw to second, not in time. Great heads-up hustle by Ben Williamson. I thought he was taking a risk, but it actually worked out for him.
Let's see.
So Factor 5, I guess they just completely just liquidated. But I wonder who bought the rights. It has to be Nintendo or something.
Okay, let's see. Factor 5.
And Paul Young, thank you very much for not saying anything. And now the pitch. And that is a strike. And Mike Nintendo Master says you're not a big fan of the early 2000s Star Wars game. One, I would like to hear a reason. I'm curious. And two, which era did you like better? And now here's JP Crawford up to the plate. He's 1 for 2 right now. And now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. Crawford is batting .285. I believe so you're a Cardinals fan, but what's that got to do with Star Wars games of 2000? But it's cool to see a Cardinals fan here. As we're at 0-2 for JP. He has 5 home runs and 23 RBIs. His last home run was against the Twins. And now here's the 0-2. Up high for a ball, 1-2.
Wikipedia doesn't say who acquired the rights to it.
And now we've got 1-2 for JP.
Oh, okay. So, okay. I just sounded.
And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be popped up, and JP's frustrated by it visibly. And that's going to make the catch, and that is going to be 1 out. Next is going to be Jorge Polanco, who is basically his 2024 self again.
Okay, it says Moeller liquidated Factor 5, and all of its games license were transferred to Egerbridge, Engel, and Smith. And one of them had in 2017.
And now here's a fly ball to center field, and that's not going to be worth tagging up for Joe Adell. Now here is no tag up on this one. What we got? He said they freeze up on me when I play them. Don't like the controls off. They're not easy, especially for the Wii, GameCube, PS2, Xbox. You like Lego Star Wars games? Did you ever play Rogue Leader or Rogue Squadron? I was saying who my MLB team is. Yeah, it's the Cardinals. Now here's Julio Rodriguez. He is 1 for 2. Now here's the pitch. Now here's a ground ball foul, and Julio's really got to get it going. And he did play Rogue Squadron. Well, I can tell you some quotes already. When he flies the A-wing, ouch! Shields are a little weak. My favorite game series is either the X-Wing TIE Fighter series or Rogue Squadron. And now we're at 0-1. Now the pitch, outside for a ball.
The quote I always remember was, "When you die." Ah! Dun, 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 dun.
Dun,
Game over. The rebellion died.
1-1. And that's going to be low for a ball. We're at 2-1. Oh, how about when your mission failed? Dum dum. Dun, 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 dun. I like it when it said mission complete. It didn't even say mission accomplished. It was just mission complete. And now we're at 2-1.
Yeah.
The pitch. Now here's a fly ball to deep center field. Still running as Joe Adell. He's leaping, and that he's not going to get it. And that is going to score in the run. That is Ben Williamson going to score. And Julio gets to third base with a triple. And Julio is actually having a fantastic game. And he's really showing that fire so much that I copied him and just punched my microphone. And now the Mariners have a 4-3 lead. Julio's actually maybe. Is it possible that Julio may have heard about the video I'm trying to make, and he's like, yeah, F that guy.
He heard the talking.
I'm still going to release it either way. He's still going to get a big talking.
Yeah.
I mean, just because he has one good game where he's only a double and a home run away from the cycle, I'm still going to rip him.
Yeah. Like I said, I think the money is weighing down his pockets.
I don't think it is, because Cal Raleigh got some money and he is still performing at a very high level, even better level before
It's
his
not every
big
player,
contract.
but there are some where as soon as they get that money, it just weighs down their pockets, it seems like.
And Hendricks has just intentionally walked Cal Raleigh, which is a very wise decision, because all you got to do is just deal with Randy Arozarena. And Randy Arozarena has been garbage. Have you ever heard of Tom Grossi and Brandon Perna? Tom Grossi, yes. Brandon Perna, no. I'm assuming, is Brandon Perna the Broncos guy?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like I know who, like his face, like the face and what he sounds like.
What is Randy Arozarena doing, as Cal Raleigh actually got an easy stolen base, and now it's going to be an 0-1. Oh, yes, I've heard of him. Urinating Tree. The Giants guy, I think.
Well, Urinating Tree has been on the channel a few times.
He has been on my channel, and some of you are wondering, how did you pull that off, kind of thing. He's a cool guy. We're at 1-1 for Randy Arozarena. Saw you guys on the Grossi raid. Is that, I guess you were the referral out of him. And now the pitch. Now it's a ground ball foul. 5 points, guy. Yep. And there's also Scooter McGruger. Oh, Tom Grossi was how you found Rooftop. He rated this channel and I stayed. Oh man, Tom Grossi got me a member. Talk about referrals.
Yeah.
Now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball, easy play. Go to first base, and that's going to be in time, and that's going to retire the side. But however, the Mariners do pick up a run out of Julio Rodriguez's RBI triple, and now we will go into the bottom of the 6th inning. So I got some Grossi rated people. Now the thing is, I understand. Do not depend on just Tom Grossi for the growth of the channel. It's just if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And shockingly, it happened twice. I think it happened actually 3 times in the NFL season. So if you want to get some Grossi raid, do a live show on the NFL.
And then I just got here just because of Yordan Alvarez.
Yordan Alvarez, that did it. Randy needs to drive in those 2 runs. Absolutely. Are you a 49ers fan, Rooftop? Am I a 49ers fan? Huh.
the stuff behind,
Yeah, let me answer that question for you, buddy. Does that make me a 49ers fan?
Definitely.
Does it? Okay, how about this one? If that doesn't do it for you, you're a Texans fan, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Where's my Marshawn Lynch? Oh my gosh, my Marshawn Lynch action figure fell down.
Oh no.
Yeah, here's that. Yeah, does that answer your question, buddy? I hope it does. I mean, does it answer your question? Let me know, Mike, if that answered your question. I just had to.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
It's even 2017 too.
That's cute. But yeah, Mike, I'm a Seahawks fan there. I'll just say it just straight up. But yeah, 49ers. Ugh. Those dang 49ers. But Mike, what fan are you of the NFL? And now we're at the pitch to Adele. Now the pitch now is a ground ball foul. We enjoyed kicking your Houston team out of our conference. You're a Bears fan.
Well, I am so sorry for you that you are a pain of a franchise.
Oh, that's pretty bad. Ever since they fired Lovie Smith, everything went down from there. The pitch,
Well,
and that's a foul ball.
It's hilarious that they are still the only team that has never had a quarterback that has passed for 4,000 yards.
Not even Jay Cutler.
They got a Pope before they got a 4,000 passing yard
That's
quarterback.
true.
Now, just because they have a Pope now, it might be Pope magic time. So
Bears fans always showing up in the offseason. Yeah. Your uncle played for the Bears? Oh, wow. Now we're at 0-2 for Joe Adele. Oh, nothing happening. Factor 5 was also known to develop San Francisco's Rush Hour game. Interesting. Didn't know they had part of that. They also developed Contra on the Game Boy and the O2, Low for a Ball. Let's check out the notable games that they actually did do.
well, they did the Rogue Squadron.
Obviously, they did some Mega Man games
Didn't they do several Indiana Jones games?
and Pokemon Stadium with their sound compression technology, and now the 1-2, and that's going to be a foul ball. They were part of Resident Evil 2. They did Star Wars Battle for Naboo, a very underknown game.
Yeah.
Star Wars and Rebel Strike, and then everything else after that was pretty much their downfall.
Yeah, let's see.
And now the pitch. Oh, and that nearly hit Joe Adele in the head.
Rebel
That's just going to be a
Assault
2-2. And Rebel Assault was not Factor 5.
Well, Rebel Assault 2 on the PlayStation.
Was it Factor 5?
Yeah, I'm looking up
Wow.
their list right now.
Wow.
Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine, that's like the only good version of that game. For the N64, like no joke, all the other versions suck. But if you can find an N64 copy, which it's really hard and they've never re-released it, it's the only one that's actually good because the other ones have like tank controls, and the N64 version's the only one that actually has like halfway decent controls.
Now we're at 1-1. Or no, it's a pitch throw the first. Not in time. Another gaming company that also suffered an unfortunate fate was Totally Games. And for some reason, after X-Wing Alliance, they just stopped.
Yeah,
They must have lost the Star Wars licensing. That's probably what it was.
For Factor 5, what really hit them.
And now here's a wild pitch. Here's Cal Raleigh, and Bryce Miller is now going wild all of a sudden. And by the way, there is a runner on second base. It's a 2-0 count with Chris Taylor up.
But yeah, what hurt them is around the mid 2000s, getting closer to like the 2010s. What ended up happening is LucasArts went through a weird change, and a bunch of games got like randomly canceled, and series that had been actually pretty popular. So you had like the Wii Rogue Squadron game.
That got canceled.
And what makes it even worse is it was finished.
It was finished?
Yes, if you look on the
I wonder if there's an
page,
emulator for it. Here's a bunting attempt, and that is going to be a foul and strike. I wonder if there's an emulator for it.
there might be if the source code's been put out for it.
Just like NBA Elite 11 is available on emulator.
Or if you're lucky to have one of the few discs that were put out.
You can sell it for like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, you're rich. And
The
unlike
2-1. Now here's
uh,
a bunting attempt, and that's gonna go. Oh, that's a foul ball, strike 2. Good heads up play by Ben Williamson to let that go.
and unlike, a certain college football game where the price just dropped when they finally put another one out, they're never going to put out Elite again.
Do you know what the Switch can do and which they should do, but I don't know if they will do because of licensing issues. But so I think if that company wants to do, if they want to get into Star Wars, well, first off, but it's like how the other companies did it. That's the question. Like the ones that got pod racing back on there, as we're at 2-2, by the way, for Chris Taylor, the former Mariner, believe it or not. And Bryce Miller's not doing anything. I wonder if it's going to be a licensing thing where they have to pay for it. And I don't think it's exclusive anymore, but it's still going to be a hefty price. And I don't know if that company can afford it.
Yeah.
If they want to make some money again. And it probably not even is worth the money anyway. And we're at 2-2. And now the pitch. Now here's a fly ball to deep left center field. And Julio's still running. And that is going to drop in for a base hit. That is easily going to score in the run. That is going to be Joe Adell scoring. And that is a double, RBI double by Chris Taylor. And this game is tied at 4-4.
It really depends on a few things, but it also kind of depends on like what does Disney want to do, and that's a big wild card because we honestly have no idea.
And the crazy thing is you can't really trust anyone to make a Rogue Squadron game anymore. You can't trust Disney to handle that because if they give that to EA or Ubisoft or whoever, they're because they don't have they're not going to have the original guys from Factor 5. They're not going to have those people. And if they don't, Rogue Squadron is just going to be a name at this point.
Well, what you would do is there is a way you can do it. Is what you would do is you do a ground up remake of the first game, most likely, or do at least a ground up remake of one of them.
They're just going to do a port over.
Oh, yeah. Most likely they're going to do a port over, but if you wanted to continue the series, you would want to see someone try to do a ground up remake of it, see how well they can get it, and then maybe say, okay, people liked it, people received it well. Let's give you a chance to maybe make another one, like an actual original one, to see.
I don't know. The pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. That's Zach Neto, who is 1 for 2. He actually got thrown out at second base.
Because, like, what comes to mind for me on this is like technically Crash 4, like the second Crash 4, because technically Wrath of Cortex was considered Crash 4.
The pitch outside for a ball. That is 1-1. And also, which logo do you like better on my channel? Do you like the green and gold Sonics or do you like the original?
Green and gold, but I'm kind of biased because I like green's my favorite color.
There we go. I have a feeling most people are going to embrace the green and gold. The pitch. And now here's a ground ball right to third base. Ben Williamson throw to first in time, and that's going to finally be the first out. And whoever the second hitter is, Nolan Shanuel, you should still pitch to him because if you intentionally walk him, which I kind of also want to happen, the problem is you're going to have to go up against Mike Trout, and he is known to do damage, especially when he's healthy. You guys heard of Khalil Watson? I have not. And now we're at Nolan Shanuel, who has known to be 0 for 2. Now the pitch. Now here's a liner to right field, and that is going to be a base hit. That's probably going to score in the run, which it will. And that's not going to be much of a fight out of the Mariners. And now it's 5-4 Angels, and this has just been a complete shootout.
Seeing that comment, 12-man for life, because I'm also an A&M fan. Just seeing that. Do you know that's like kind of Texas A&M is part of the reason why they can't call it the 12th man.
They're not part of the reason. They are the reason. That's why they had to call
Well,
it the 12.
the other reason being that some people didn't want to pay money.
Yeah, the Seahawks didn't want to pay for it. Yeah, sure.
Well, yeah, that's why I say part, because
Now here's my Trout.
Something out.
Oh, and so much for me saying, oh, yeah, let's just pitch to Nolan Shanuel. But we didn't have a choice either way.
Yeah, you were screwed either way.
With runners in scoring position, Angels are 3 of 5. And now we're at 0-1 for Mike Trout. And now the pitch. And that is up high for a ball.
Let's see. What is my all-time favorite Texan? Oh,
David Carr.
No, J.J. Watt.
Arian Foster.
Oh, Arian Foster and Andre Johnson are up there.
1-1. And that's going to be low for a ball, 2-1. What about DeAndre Hopkins?
D-Hop's also up there.
David Johnson, baby.
Though when he went to the Titans, I was just all like, ugh, why did you go there?
Now we're at 2-1.
It
And now the
wasn't like
pitch.
they were even competitive.
How about Amon Green?
Mario Williams.
Mario Williams is good, though.
He was. He was the start of the good defense there, but he was overshadowed by Cushing and Watt pretty quickly.
Now we're at 3-1 for Mike Trout. And that's going to be a foul ball, strike 2.
And Watt's the sad one because, man, I wish we could have gotten him a chance for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Matthew Schaub killed that chance in 2013.
Well, and you know what really sucks about that whole thing with Matt Schaub is literally Peyton Manning, when it was clear that the Colts were not going to keep him, he was looking at other
3-2.
teams.
And a swing and a miss, strike 3. Down goes Mike Trout. So I guess in hindsight, should have walked Nolan Shanuel
Yeah,
just to get the strikeout to Mike Trout. So hindsight is 2020.
it always is. But
if it wasn't for COVID, the hindsight 2020 jokes were going to fly around, would have flown around.
oh yeah, they would have.
2020, I was really looking forward. There was so many reasons to look forward to it, and then within 2 months,
High school that was my high school graduation.
ouch! The pitch to Taylor Ward, and that is going to be outside for a ball. So Peyton Manning was looking at the Texans, wasn't he?
Yeah, because it made sense. He played against the Texans for a good chunk of his career. He knew the
Easy
team.
division.
He liked. He liked what he saw, and
1-1 outside for a ball, 2-0.
the
Or
thing
1-0,
was is the
2-0.
Texans didn't want to take a chance on him, and I'm just. Had we done that, I think you would have seen the Texans at least win 1 or 2 Super Bowls.
Maybe 2-0.
Well,
How is that not a strike? That should have been a strike, and that is now 3-0 to Taylor Ward. That was clearly in the zone, and by next year, that would have been an easy review.
Yeah. Because the thing was, is you had the number 1 defense there for a few years. You had Andre Johnson. You had
The pitch,
D-Hop.
low for a ball 4, and Bryce Miller is just not looking good at all. And I wonder if Dan Wilson is calling for that bullpen right now, at least getting them to warm up, because Bryce Miller is just not looked dialed in at all.
But like the offensive line was all right. You had one of the best running backs in the league with Arian Foster. You had at least 2 elite level receivers, and the other ones were not bad either. All you needed was a quarterback. Like that was the Texans. You just needed a quarterback.
They did.
And had you had Peyton Manning, the thing was up until his last year in the NFL, he was still slinging it pretty well. It was just that last year where it was done.
His arm finally gave out.
And you would have had that with the elite defense, a good offensive line, great receiving, great running. that team would have been unstoppable because that was Peyton's issue when he was in Denver up until the Super Bowl 50 is his defense was often so-so.
Now here's a fly ball to deep left field, but Arozarena should be there. It makes the catch. And that will retire the side. Yep, he makes the catch. I thought it was going to be a home run for a second. And we go into the next inning.
Well, no, Oklahoma's not A&M's rival. They never have. Really, A&M, it's Texas and then LSU.
If the Sonics come back, do you see the Sonics and Oklahoma being a rival? Because here's the thing. Fan base, yes. But the team, I don't know.
I think the NBA would definitely try to hype it up as a rivalry.
Okay, they will. But that's if they do make it happen.
Well,
that's the question.
Because the thing is, you could do a one-team expansion, but one-team expansions are very risky, and you also end up with odd schedules there for a few years until you get another.
They need Vegas in the equation, but there are other cities that are going to try to compete. You got Louisiana.
For those cities is basically Vegas is on the peak here. While they like these other cities like a lot, Vegas is number one. And also Vegas has the facilities. They have basically everything. They just need something to sign, essentially. And they will get a team. And if you look at some of the other venues, they really don't have – they either have a stadium and it's really out of date, or they might have some interest, but they don't have a stadium. They're just not – they don't really have a good act, essentially. Seattle is the one just by kind of default. They have pretty much everything in place. They just need a good, competent ownership group.
The rumors say that it would be the Kraken owner. That's the rumor.
Which, actually, that's not a bad idea because it makes sense because who owns the stadium that the Kraken play in? Is this the city or
City of Seattle? Ultimately, okay. City of Seattle. It's partnership with, I think. Let me find out. Let me double check. I think it is a Seattle-owned asset.
Okay, because the reason why is that's kind of like.
As we got Rowdy Tellez, by the way, here is an 0-1 pitch to Rowdy Tellez. Here it is. And there's a ground ball, and that's actually going to get right through for a base hit. And Burger King, man.
Burger King. There.
Let me see. Climate Pledge Arena. There was a time I tried to call it Climate Change Arena. I tried. Yeah.
Really relevant.
The owner is City of Seattle. They ultimately own it, but the operator is the Oakview Group, led by Tim Leiweke.
And I'm guessing that's the Kraken owner, or
that's the Kraken. No, the Kraken owner is the Bonderman family.
Okay. So, because why I was bringing that up is for NHL expansion, there's been a lot of talk of going to Houston, and Tillman Fertitta needs to be at least a partial owner of a Houston NHL team, just because there can be only.
It's actually one. No, it's 1-1. Excuse me. Yeah, Joe Stevens. Thank you too. And what is your logo? I can't. Oh, Seahawks Talk.
Seahawks Talk with Joe Stevens.
I guess he has a YouTube channel himself. And now the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball.
But
like he does have a channel of 181 subscribers. Looks like he just started.
Nice.
I'll be very curious to see how long he's been doing it for. He's been doing it for.
They would be able to keep the Supersonics name.
Yeah, actually, I have the answer to that. And now the pitch, and that's gonna be a check swing foul. Pretty random check swing by Leody Taveras. So here's what happened. So on July 2nd, 2008, our coward mayor, Greg Nichols, who had the last fight, all he had to do was wait for Judge Peckman to make a decision on whether to keep the team for 2 more years of the lease, which I thought the lawsuit was pointless anyway, the pitch. And that's going to be popped up to left field, and he's going to be there, and he makes the catch. So if the Judge Peckman, so the city sued Clay Bennett to hold him to the lease, which made no sense to think about it because how do you sue a guy to keep the lease if the lease is still there till 2010 anyway? Joe Stevens, I watched Sonicsgate religiously. I was part of this whole Soto Arena thing. But the issue I had with Sonicsgate, they were not consistent with their content after that movie. Now the pitch, they had a little bit of a run, but then they just kind of stopped. I thought they should have just kept going and going because they were the most prominent Sonics content creators at the time. And now I'm trying to fill that void because it is a very underserved market right now of Sonics content creators. A pitch, and that is low for a ball. So the lease, so they were like to hold the lease for 2 years. And then had Seattle won, they get their 2 years. If Seattle lost, they actually get 1 year.
Okay.
Which still would have given Seattle some time to get a stadium plan going. And now the pitch.
Yeah.
And that's going to be popped up by Cole Young, and that's not going to get anywhere. And he makes the catch. But here's what Greg Nichols did. He did a settlement and said, hey, Clay Bennett, do you have $45 million? Yeah. Yeah, give me $45 million, and then give me $30 million if we come up with a stadium by next year. What? That was the real reason they left. Yeah, Joe Stevens, I remember that day as well. Did not enjoy that day at all. And the crazy thing is, I have a cousin and my aunt that lives in Sacramento, and they still said, please take our team. It's garbage.
Well, the sad thing is someone actually pointed out on the urinating tree video that he just recently posted about the NBA. Someone literally pointed out that the Supersonics have been past the first round more recently than the Kings.
Yeah, for a very long time. And Joe Stevens, I'm going to subscribe to your channel, which I already did. Yeah, I was actually part of the whole Soto thing. I got to know the personalities of Brian Robinson, Stephen Pyatt, Jeffrey Brown of Bring Back Our Sonics Facebook page. I got to know a lot of people through that cause. And now here's the pitch to Ben Williamson. And that's why you've probably seen my channel making some Sonics content, because I really wanted to tap into that market of Seattle Supersonics fans. And I see that you have a YouTube channel. Like, do you have any plans for your YouTube channel for the future? I'll send the link. I found it. There you go. He does Seahawks talk. And honestly, I think I might keep that logo, the Sonics logo. I think I might just keep it.
It's a nice logo.
I think it does. I think it blends better than my OG one, the purple one. I think the red and gold, or not the red and gold, green and gold does. I think it kind of felt more natural. The other one, it kind of just felt forced looking back on it.
No, the old one with the photo.
Wait, and you know exactly where that photo is from, right? I have a feeling that you know where it's from.
No. For that logo, for the logo, I do know where that photo is from because I've looked it up. But I mean your OG logo, where you're like, it's where you're going up to like get like Julio's like autograph or something like that.
Oh yeah. Oh, that OG. Oh yeah. Rooftop Mariner. That name did not age well at all. That name died so quickly. Now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to second base and a toss to first in time. And the Mariners may just die. Joe Stevens, do you have like an Instagram or a Twitter account so we could maybe connect? Because I would be down to do some Seahawks content as much as, well, I guess maybe you'll be down for some Sonics and Mariners content of the future. And plus I could tap more into that Seahawks market because I could only do so much Mariners. Like, you can tell that just the videos that I've been releasing recently, you can tell I'm kind of burned out doing Mariners. I'm like, well, I want to get into some soccer. I want to get into some basketball. And there is market for everything. That the Mariners, why should I subscribe to you? Oh no, Mike is okay. now you're making this into a job interview. So I do as many live streams as possible. I'll do some for the Cardinals and Mariners if I make time for it. And I do make a lot of different videos. I don't do just podcasting because I don't really like the podcasting I just don't. I just feel like podcasting is just not my thing. I'm more of an edited video type guy, and the numbers kind of do show it that YouTube actually likes to push more of my edited stuff than my I'm talking for like 30 minutes to say how much the Mariners suck. Joe Stevens, you like to do collabs, so if there's a way to contact you, that would be helpful. And Mike, Nintendo Master, thanks for being here as well. And let me know when you get that Nintendo Switch 2. I know I hear you. Like, I feel like I cannot do a podcast unless I'm collabing. Fritz,
Yeah.
one of the beloved members, you're at the phase where I'm pretty burnt out for the Mariners. I mean, I'm burned out for the Mariners. Yes, there's no question about that, but I am still going to follow the Mariners. It's just that I'm not going to just put the Mariners on a YouTube pedestal. That's
There's
all.
got to be something more than just the Mariners.
Yeah. Can you, I mean, look at Couch GM. He actually does some Cougars content, and I can't imagine doing Mariners indefinitely. Like, there were times when I was rooftop Mariners, like, but I want to talk about some Seahawks and Mariners or Sonics once in a while.
Yeah. But yeah, as I was mentioning earlier about the whole NHL situation, like why Fertitta would have to be a part owner at least, is it goes back
1-0. And now here's a ground ball, and that's going to get right through for a base hit, and the Angels continue to make it difficult for the Mariners. And you were saying?
Is because there's only one venue in the city, like in Harris County, that can support an NHL team, and that's Toyota Center. Makes sense because that's also the basketball arena, but they can't build another one. And that is thanks to previous Rockets owner, and also from what I've read, a real butt, Les Alexander. And basically he worked a deal out with the city and the county saying that there can be no other venues that can support a basketball or a hockey team, like professional wise, in Harris County. So that's actually why the AHL Houston
pitch.
Arrows.
And here's a ground ball foul. Joe Stevens says this team is paying absolutely.
That's why they ended up moving to Toyota Center and then later leaving, because Les Alexander just kept charging them more and more money. And they were a minor league team, and they just could not keep up with the Bills.
What is up with Houston and some of their weirdest, sketchy things? You got Enron, and then you got this former Rockets owner. Like, you guys have a lot of weird things. And I've also heard of weird dating stories.
Bud Adams. Bud Adams, oh my gosh.
I heard of a story where, well, I guess I heard a lot of those, like someone broke up with someone and then tried to get with the other person to make the person jealous, and it actually worked. I've heard of those stories too.
Well, and the funny thing is, you mentioned Enron is actually the primary reason why the Astros play where they are.
Yeah, because they had the naming rights to it.
Well, no, it's not just the naming rights. So what it was is, see, Houston, the Astros used to play in the Astrodome. Makes sense.
Yep.
And they were, and due to the whole Oilers saga, the city and the county were more open to getting the leftover teams stadiums, and also these
1 and 2, and that's gonna be a foul ball.
Burn the bridges, unlike Adams, and so they were more open to giving them new stadiums. And they were starting to plan out some Astros stuff. It was going to be, the original idea was actually keep it somewhere around the Astrodome, if not just tear down the dome itself and just build a baseball stadium there. And
1 and 2. And strike 3 called, and that's going to be a strikeout for Jackson Kowar. And looks like Rendifo is not really happy about that call, but we got one out.
And at the same time, the city of Houston was trying to revitalize the downtown area because it was very sketchy. And they were taking this old train station, Union Station, and they were just going to do a project to
swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike 1 to Joe Adell. He chased a really batty one. And by the way, Jackson Kowar is out from the bullpen, and obviously, Bryce Miller had to go because he just, I mean, forget about pitch count. He was just really, really
Yeah.
bad.
He was struggling. But what ended up happening is during this early process, Enron came out and said,
Oh,
we
one.
would pay for
Low
the
for a
naming
ball.
rights for the Astros stadium if it's in the downtown area. So basically, they kind of forced the city of Houston to put Minute Maid Park or Daikin Park or Enron Field or Astros Field or Ballpark at Union Station in downtown because they wanted to name the stadium. So they very much forced it. So yeah, Enron is the reason why they play there.
Oh, Joe Stevens. I had no idea that you actually followed me on my Twitter. I just followed you as we got a slight wild pitch, but no one's moving. Got 2-2 for Joe Adell. But yeah, Joe Stevens, I just followed you and I'm going to message you right now. And if you would like me on your show sometime, I could use a color commentating. Oh, you just followed me just now. I could use a color commentator for my Seahawks play-by-plays. I'm planning to do more of that. And now we got 2-2, and now here's the pitch, and that's going to be low for a ball. Yeah, Kowar was part of that Kelenic trade. So what that trade really was, it was Jared Kelenic, Evan White, and Marco Gonzalez, and the Mariners got back Cole Phillips and Jackson Kowar. And that was looked as a salary dump, but maybe there is upside out of Jackson Kowar and Cole Phillips, as Cole Phillips is also another well-known prospect.
Yeah.
And now we're at 3-2 in the pitch. And now here's a fly ball belted to deep left center field, and Julio is there, and he makes the catch, and that's going to be 2 outs. And Julio's thrown to second immediately, and that's going to be 2 outs.
But yeah, when it comes to like Houston in the NHL, it's sad that they've never had an actual chance to get an NHL team because they've shown that they can actually support an NHL franchise, like at least the caliber of that.
And now the pitch, and that is going to be outside the top corner. That is a ball. There was no upside for Kelenic. There actually was. I thought there was upside for Kelenic. I saw him as a second coming of Bryce Harper delusionally at the time. But what didn't you see out of Fritz? Like, did you see any red flags out of him other than the fact that he chucked his bat in the dugout in a AAA game? He actually did. I actually saw that.
Or the fact that you gave up Edwin Diaz for him.
I would still do that trade again. If Kelenic worked out, the Mariners would have barely won that trade, or it could have been like a push of a trade. Now here's a fly ball belted to deep center field, and Julio's leaping, and he makes the catch. I think he makes the catch. Did he make the catch?
Yeah, he did. He made it.
He made the catch, and that is going to be 2 outs. And
he knew you're bad mouthing him.
Whoa! He made the amazing catch. Oh my goodness!
He just knew.
He just knew it.
Oh, if you want a Stanley Cup update, they are in overtime. Score is 4-4.
Oh my goodness.
Crazy thing is that will be the second all Stanley Cup games so far have gone to overtime, so they've been getting some really good content. Okay. Yeah. Oh,
by the way, Side is retired.
Oh, let me look up this game again. Easy MLB. So you remember when you were talking about, like, you were going through the South Korea game, and I happened to comment that the Braves choked?
Yeah.
Let me look up one of the pitchers who was in the ninth inning. Like he started the ninth inning before getting pulled. His name is Scott Blewett.
Okay.
How do you have a pitcher's name that's Blewett?
Oh my God! Wait! His literally name is Scott Blewett.
Yes, I will spell it out in the chat.
Oh my gosh! No, you can't do this to me.
Well, and what was funny is then there was another pitcher, and his name is Aaron Bummer.
Aaron Bummer.
Bummer.
At that point, you should just get a legal name change. I would do that.
Yeah, but Scott Blewett gave up 5 runs.
How about this? A pitcher named Ball 4.
Or no, pitcher named Suck. Yes.
Fritz goes, would you rather have the Mariners lose every game until the end of the finals if the Thunder are guaranteed to lose? Joe, can you amend that and say the Sonics coming back to Seattle too?
Yeah, and maybe
Now
the
the
Houston
pitch.
Arrows as well, you know.
And you know what? Hey, Joe Stevens, I actually will say yes, because that means if they play that badly, maybe that will get Jerry DiPoto fired.
Yes.
And Dan Wilson. And let's bring in Joe Madden and maybe Theo Epstein. I don't think Theo Epstein's possible, though. Because he has interest within Boston. He's like a part
We're trying to
owner.
get, what is it, James Click or something like that? You know, former. Is he still open?
Mariners could have hired, what's his name, from Detroit. They even have a chance with him.
Yeah.
But they're like,
yes,
no, he's a cheater. Let's not, no, don't get
AJ
AJ
Hinch.
Hinch. He's a cheater. But he's a
Well,
good
no,
manager.
funny thing is, I did joke when Dusty Baker retired. I was all like, we could just re-sign AJ Hinch, and that would just be hilarious.
Yeah, they didn't want to do that PR thing.
They
1 and 2.
didn't, but
Now here's
Oh,
a
that
ground
would've
ball
been
right
so
to, and
funny.
that is going to be a play at first and in time. And JP, hustled as he might, didn't work. You stole that from Softy and Dick on the radio today. Oh, Softy. You know, I actually know one of his companions, unfortunately. His name is Jackson Feltz, and unfortunately, I had a beef with him.
but that one pitcher's name.
Steven, listen to David Softy. Man, maybe, but that would mean season over. So boring rest of the season. Fritz, I love your optimism. Now the pitch to Polanco, and that is a strike. And despite how gloom and doom that this game is, the Mariners are still only down 1 run. So
Yeah,
technically,
It's
There is
down
still-
one. You can.
there is still a chance.
It's not like the Rockies if
pitch.
they're a tied game.
Now here's a
that-
ground ball, and man, Polanco is just absolutely just dead. And that is going to be 2 outs.
I'm just going to say this. We all sadly kind of knew that this was going to happen, is that he had that amazing start, but we knew it couldn't, that wasn't sustainable.
Oh, everyone knew that. Like at the recess game, I had kids that I was warning them that, yeah, Polanco's not that good. And then as soon as he was hitting 384, all the kids are like, hey, what'd you say about Polanco? And this is all I said. Can he keep up? And the kids are like, they just froze.
They're all
Now
like,
the pitch to
"Oh."
Julio. And that is a strike. And by the way, Julio has a single and a triple. So he is 2 for 3. He's batting 249 with 10 home runs and 33 RBI. So his batting average jumped a little bit. And Reese, I hold you to it, and that's going to be outside for a ball. One of the notable games where Julio Rodriguez dominated, I think the last time I saw him dominate like this was in 2023 when he got thrown out at second base due to controversial calls. And then he had a huge outburst. He was outbursting towards the Angels fans, and Eugenio Suarez was like, hey, yo, you got to calm down. And I assume they were talking in
Yeah.
Spanish.
Just bring
And
out
then they're-
Hector Neris.
Ah.
Is he still on the Angels roster? Well,
Yeah, I
let's
know. Then Julio Rodriguez basically Hector Neris basically called Julio Rodriguez a wussy. And somehow Julio and Suarez blew up that story along with Seattle Times and said that Neris was having some evil agenda.
Oh yeah, he is in the bullpen for
Now
like
the pitch is going to be popped up, and that's going to be playable by Nolan Shanuel. And he makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. And due to the fact that making this show dedicating to the lost soldiers or the still alive soldiers for D-Day, I'm going to have to sing God Bless America. And after that, that will be followed by the 7th inning stretch. So I would stand, but I want everyone to see my face while I'm singing. So everyone else stand. Josh, it's up to you. I don't really care. But we're going to sing God Bless America.
Oh,
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. And that is the rendition of God Bless America. And now it's time to take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, so let's root for the Mariners. If they don't win, it's a shame. It would be a shame because they've already lost 3 in a row. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Hey, look, it's your favorite pitcher on the mound.
Eduardo Bazardo?
Yes.
Yeah, about that.
Move.
Yeah, he literally had this whole time. And now the pitch. And that is a strike. And I find it very bizarre. Bizardo? Get it? Bizardo.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's not going to end well. And now we've got an 0-1 for Bizardo. And now the pitch. And that is going to be low for a ball. And Joe Stevens says the problem is not Jerry. He's just a yes man to ownership. If Jerry was GM of Dodgers, he'd spend. Yeah, but his track record of, I guess, free agents hasn't been that great. But I guess he hasn't really had an opportunity. But I still don't like Jerry Dipoto because he's like 54% and doing the fan base a favor. Yeah, I don't like Jerry.
That could be the ownership because you got to remember that Howard Lincoln is still part of the ownership group.
Yeah, he's still part of the board.
And what was his quote back when he was had
our goal is to not win a World Series. It is to field a competitive team year after year, as we got an outside for a ball 1-0, year after year to put itself in position to win a World Series and hope at some point that it does happen. And
AKA
then 3 years
54%.
Yeah, so he basically said the same exact thing.
Yeah, I think it's while yes, GMs could do better. It's also kind of a culture thing set with
now the pitch.
Ownership.
And that is a strike 2-1. He's like a sleazy car salesman. I get it, but I'm just saying he's John's puppet. Yeah, I agree. And I know that even if they fire Jerry Dipoto and Justin Hollander, they're going to hire some other yes man stimp bum. We're at 2-1 for Nolan Shanuel. So yeah, I hear you, Joe. Now the pitch. And that is a strike. So until and remember, Joe Stevens, remember the Mariners, the previous ownership, along with Howard Lincoln? Remember when they tried everything they could to fight against Chris Hansen's Soto Arena? Yeah, that actually took me out of Mariners' interest for 2 years because of it. I actually stopped cheering for them for 2 years until they started tanking. I was like, you know what? Fine. Sonics aren't coming back. I give up. I will cheer for my Mariners again. The pitch. That's going to be a foul ball. You found my channel with the Mariners history videos. Which one was your favorite? I mean, Josh's favorite is Yordan Alvarez.
Well, of course. I'm the Astros fan sitting here.
Joe, which one was your favorite? There was a Tino Martinez video. There's the The Mariners 2000 video, it's going to be low for a ball, by the way, and that's going to be 3-2. I know I should be making more of those videos and probably be less focused on the podcasting unless I'm collabing. I think that's the way it should be. And now we're at 3-2, the pitch, and that's going to be strike 3 called, and no one, Shanuel, thought that was a ball, but that's going to be 2 outs. Oh, he knows that quote. He knows that quote. And I knew that was and I think I actually did saw that as a red flag at the time. The ugly house at the end of the driveway. John Stanton, that's what he called it. Joe Stevens, we actually speak the same language. I'm telling you, I did text you on the message, so we should definitely collab at some point. You are also followed by Northwest Sports Fanatics, the pitch, and that is a strike. And you got Big Low. I've heard he's had some health issues. I hope he's doing okay. And now we're at 0-1 for Mike Trout. And now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. 0-2. Yeah, the whole Soto Arena thing, that really was a mess. And I really got to learn about the viciousness of Seattle local city politics. That's what I learned from it. 0-2.
Yeah, talking
for a
about
ball,
you
1
know
and
the
2.
ownership here, a lot of people have been looking into how the Astros were built there, and when you had Jeff Luhnow leading it, there was a lot of toxic things going on in the
1 and
background
2.
that very few people
Inside
saw.
for a ball. 2-2.
And it was largely kind of the culture that Jim Crane wanted at the time. Now it got results, but
Another pitch.
less than stellar,
Outside
and it
for a
did
ball.
lead to what
Joe
happened.
Stevens, you
So-
haven't talked to Big Low since last season. He wasn't too great. It's sad. Yeah. The guy's not getting any younger, but he is one of the biggest, most prominent Seattle fans. We've got the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to deep right field. That is Belton. Here's Leody Taveras, and he makes the catch, and that'll be out number 3. And surprisingly, a 1-2-3 inning. Gamer 11, you must be the Joe man. Gamer 11, he is actually not struck out at all today. Believe it or not. Julio hasn't struck out yet.
Which is unusual for him because typically he does.
This is everything, yeah. But yeah, let's see where Big Low is from. Big Low hasn't posted anything since March 15th. Last time he posted was related to the death of Slick Watts. Big Low was also about the DK Metcalf trade.
I
Wow.
highly doubt Stanton's going to sell the Mariners anytime
No,
soon.
he has no reason to.
Well, they're worth $2.2 billion according to
And not only
Forbes.
that, this is literally his passive income. Like, he doesn't have to do anything because the
Yeah,
Mariners are just
operating
writing
income
everything.
for last year, $43 million according to Forbes.
Yeah, pretty substantial profit.
And
Which there's nothing
what's-
wrong with. Like, there's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with making record profits. I have no problem with that. It's about what you do with the money. Now, granted, he is the owner, so he is entitled to handle it however the heck he wants. But when you're in the business where fans want winners,
Yeah,
not the kind of business you want to be if that's all you want to do is take shortcuts. We
Yeah.
will still show up and spend the money. Yep, that's true.
yep.
And I've noticed that ever since the attention of the Mariners ownership increased, I noticed that the trash talking between the Mariners fans and the Astro fans plummeted. Because I remember right before the end of 23, before Cal Raleigh came out and talked about ownership, it was Mariner fans and Astro fans were literally at each other's throats. And then right after that, after Cal Raleigh said it and the whole 54%, I think you guys finally go, oh, you guys actually have bad ownership. Okay, we'll kind of leave you guys alone for a while, at least until you guys become good. And when's that going to be?
Well, yeah. Now the odd thing is so there's a 13th, like in ranking of all the MLB teams, they're 13th overall. So
Here's
really
Cal
highly-
Raleigh. And that is going to be a strike. And by the way, Cal Raleigh's actually on his dominant side, his right-handed part. So let's see if we can get a home run out of this, which we absolutely need because you can't trust Randy Arozarena to do anything. And then the batter after that, it's going to be Rowdy. It's going to be Rowdy Tellez, and you also can't really trust him much either. So I think Cal Raleigh's got to hit this bomb.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Don't say it. I don't want to hear it.
No. They're just tossing
0-1,
the
the
baseball
pitch.
around.
Oh, swing and a miss, a 97 right down the middle, and that's going to be strike 2 for Cal Raleigh. Yeah, I know.
An odd
It's
fact
true.
about the values is while they're 13th overall, if you were just to take the
0-2.
AL West,
Oh, swing and a miss, strike 3. Literally pitches right down the middle, and Cal Raleigh could not connect.
the Mariners are actually like the second least valuable team in the AL West.
That's insane.
Yeah,
But
the
then
A's,
again, you have the Texas Rangers. Yeah, A's are like what? Are they the least? No, I would think Angels
A's
are
are
the
the
least.
least.
Oh, A's are the least. Okay.
And then
That's low
it's
for a ball.
Mariners. And then the Rangers are just a little bit ahead of you.
So
And then
Astros have to
it's-
be the most valuable.
Yeah. The funny thing was, up until I think this year, or was it last year, it had been the Angels for like well over a decade.
Makes sense. LA market, Disneyland. They actually had
Well-
something going. Yeah.
Well, the big thing also for it wasn't so much the players, it was the ridiculous contract that Fox gave Artie Moreno like 20 years ago.
That'll do it. Reese Beast, the Mariners are about to be more valuable than the A's are about to be more valuable than the M's. You're not wrong because they're going to go to a more attractive market, which is Vegas. I mean, there are some
Yeah.
Oakland fans that are like, yeah, but we're still in the top 15, 20 market. We still have the Bay Area. Yeah, go to Oakland and then come back to me. The pitch. I mean, most A's fans don't even live in Oakland. Let's be real. Who would want
Yeah.
to live in Oakland? I've been to Oakland. I saw the neighborhoods near the stadium. Don't even go there. You're like you're in a typical town in GTA 5, basically, where Franklin lives. I know I shouldn't say that, but it's true.
It does actually look like. Or no, it just
Literally.
looks like the entirety of GTA San Andreas. Even the bad pollutants.
As by the way, we got Dylan Moore pinch hitting, and Randy Arozarena actually walked. The thing that's crazy about us Mariners fans is we are the Cleveland Browns of baseball, which is true. We still show up every week.
I wouldn't associate with the Cleveland Browns. Do you
I would.
want to associate with the franchise? That
Cleveland
took
still has
Deshaun
championships.
Watson? Well, yes, but they took Deshaun Watson over Baker Mayfield.
Mariners are just about due to give us a late win and give the illusion that they are still decent. No, that's not going to happen. But now
Yeah,
here's
give it
Dylan
tomorrow.
Moore, 1-0. I don't have time for tomorrow. I won't even be there. The pitch. No, it's going to be a throw to first. Because don't
But
quit
yeah.
your day job. Just loves to wreck me.
The A's are worth 1.8 billion.
Yeah, that's going to be $2 billion once they get to Vegas.
Yeah, Mariners are 2.2, Rangers are 2.4, Angels 2.7, and
A 1-0.
Astros are 2.8.
And that is going to be 2-0.
No, the crazy thing is actually a lot of NHL teams are starting to overtake half the MLB teams in value.
And looks like that's going to be enough for Detmers. I guess that is he going to pull Detmers
Man,
Or
just
is-
all like, you suck, man.
or Ron Washington's like, hey, it's just the Mariners. They suck. Relax.
Oh, no, hey, it's Julio. He's due for a strikeout if it was.
He's due for a strikeout. Yeah, he's staying, it looks like. But yeah, I think I'm going to keep that. I really. Julio over 4. Wow. But we all know what's the best quote that a Mariner fan's ever said on my YouTube channel. World Series, baby!
Yeah, we have an 80-year-old Ichiro. World Series, baby.
The 2-0. And that's going to be a strike. How about Griffey when he's on a walker?
Yeah, I remember Griffey on Walker. No, you remember the one I said earlier in the season? I'm on. Let's just get Griffey Senior and Junior back.
Oh
World
my
Series,
God.
baby.
2-1. And a swing and a miss, strike 2. And already, after a 2-0 count, Dylan Moore's already down to his last strike. The Julio hate is unfair IMO. Mr. Joe Stevens, I'd like to hear this. I'd like to hear it. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up. Not even going to leave the infield. I might as well just call it infield fly rule just for craps and giggles.
Yeah. Hey, it could be like that wild card series in Atlanta. Yeah, let's call the infield fly way out in the outfield.
Washed Mitch Haniger. And then everyone said, World Series, baby. Leody
no. A 75-year-old Ken Griffey Sr.
Leody Taveras is now up to the plate. And could he be the hero? I don't think so. And now the pitch. And that is going to be a strike. I mean, he has been clutch, but I would think most of his clutch numbers are coming from from his time in Texas Rangers, as that is 0-1 for Leody Taveras. I mean, it's clear that the Mariners have to make huge splashes in trade deadline. The pitch and a big swing and a miss, strike 2, and nothing's going to happen on Detmers right now, as we're at 0-2. I haven't seen a Mariners win on this channel since Saturday, the Cole Young game winner.
The Stanley Cup is still in overtime. They're almost to the end of the first overtime.
What game is it?
It's game 2. Edmonton
I see.
leads 1-0.
I see. And now we're at 0-2 for Leody Taveras. He might strike out. Probably will strike out in the throw to first and not in time.
That's a sad thing to say.
Alexa, turn on the lights.
Okay.
But it's sadly true.
Really is. As we're at 0-2 for Taveras. Now the pitch. And that is going to be a foul ball.
And do we think the Thunder are cooked after what the Pacers?
No,
did in the
just one
first
game. Just one game.
It's the Pacers, though.
I don't know.
Season, they have been like the Magic team.
They beat up a team in the first round, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah,
And they played against an injury. Oh, runner goes, and the swing and a miss, strike 3, and the side is retired.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be right back.
Just the comment.
Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make a Sahara pizza. Beautiful thin crust.
And we are back from the break, and it's not the end of May. I'm going to have this thing go to the end of June. Now the pitch, and that is a strike. So if you want your 50% off, head over to Sahara Pizza in Snoqualmie to get your 50. Deal happens on Monday and Tuesday. And now the pitch, and that is going to be a ball. Joe Stevens, use head over to Snoqualmie if you want 50% off. You know what? Why don't you join me at Sahara Pizza at some point? Maybe Monday. We'll enjoy some pizza together, and we'll do the 50 off thing.
Have you got someone to show up? Be like, oh yeah, I've seen this rooftop video.
I mean, we did make that deal. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be strike 3 called, and Bizzardo's still pitching. You got to play the World Series baby clip at the bottom of the 8th. You know what? I will take you up on it. I'm going to find it right now.
Also, Reese Beast, it's not black magic. It's choke magic. That's what the Pacers have.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Magic.
All right, I'm looking for that video right now.
Because they also beat a really stacked Cavs team.
But they were injured.
They were injured, but even then, it was like the Cavs were heavily favored in that series.
They
And
were,
made
I
them
know.
look like chumps.
But I don't think the Cavs would have stood a chance against Oklahoma, though.
Oh, no, I don't think they would have.
1-0. That's going to be a foul ball.
And then they beat the Knicks, who had made the Celtics look really stupid.
Yeah. Now we're at Jorge Soler. And this game has been pathetic, to say the least. And now
Sorry,
the
they
pitch.
were still out there.
And a swing and a miss, strike 2. I think they're playing with nothing to lose at this point. They feel that way. Rick Carlisle's the guy, I think, for the Pacers coach.
Well, and what I find funny, and this is why I'm also rooting for the Pacers, is one of their players got rated as the most overrated player that year by
one,
other
too.
players.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's going to be 2 outs.
And he's also been a big reason why they've been winning all these games. So it would be hilarious if he ran it all the way to an NBA Finals win.
So, Joe Stevens, you live in probably around near Black Diamond, so you got about 20 to 30 minutes up. Why is it Bizzardo starting pitcher? Good one.
World Series, baby!
And that's going to be a strike. Bizzardo over Snyder, Spire, Thornton, Vargas. Thornton, he's been a disappointment this season. Kenley Jansen's now in the bullpen. And my
should have
tablet's
gone
about
with
to die.
Hector Neris.
Yeah, but
the memes.
Yeah, that's not. No, we should go for Trevor Bauer. We need a starter.
Yeah.
And of course, that's not going to go well.
I do think also the Angels should have put Hector Neris and just be all like, yeah, Julio's coming up. We're bringing in Hector.
Now we're at 0-2.
Another hilarious video I remember. Dusty Baker, the time has come. Execute Order 66.
Oh, the timing of that lip sync was too perfect, too.
Good.
As we're at 0-2. I assume that you completely lost it when you saw it.
Oh, I did. I had to watch it multiple times.
I would show it, but the too much MLB footage and Star Wars music kind of can't. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Reese, I got a treat for you. If you're ready for this.
My point is it's across all Seattle sports. It's this idea, like people pleading 3-4 years ago to bring back Ichiro. When Ichiro's like 93 years old. I'm like, no, I do not want to bring back Ichiro. Like Griffey when he's got a walker out there and he gives you a single every 60 games. Like the list goes on and on. Like people crying. Like Haniger comes back, and you think that we just signed a Hall of Famer. Like he was injured all of last year. He's like 33 years old. We trade for him, give up on Robbie Ray, which whatever. And all of a sudden, I swear, all of Twitter is like, World Series, baby! Let's go! Let's go! He was a negative WAR player for them last year, but because we love Hanny, baby, he's going to come and save the Mariners.
World Series, baby!
And that trade has looked so terrible for how Robbie Ray has looked.
Ah! You know what was the crazy part? Robbie Ray was actually my favorite player on the Mariners for a point. And I really do feel
Only
bad.
faced the Giga Chad Jordan.
Oh, man. Yeah, we absolutely need him. No, I was against that. I was like, no, just let Paul Sewald finish it. Like, I thought it was a knee-jerk move just because he was at 2 outs. Paul Sewald was working on 2 outs. Pena
Yeah.
just happens to get I'd like to say a lucky hit. And
Yeah.
then Scott Serv's like, oh, no, we're screwed. Robbie Ray, it's you.
And Jordan's just all, I'm going to murder this baseball.
He did.
Like, you look at that face when Robbie Ray is, like, warming up, and Jordan's just all, I don't care who's pitching. I'm going to murder this baseball.
Kenley Jansen, believe it or not, I had no idea he was actually top 5 in all-time saves. I had
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah, he's way up there, though. He
Well,
gets saves, but then he likes to blow a lot of saves as well.
But he's 12 for 12 right now, so it's going to be a pretty low chance for the Mariners to do it. But you would think maybe he's due, but it's going to take Cole Young, Ben Williamson, and J.P. Crawford to do so. So the chances are pretty low. I guess we'll have to see.
I would take probably Josh Hader over Kenley Jansen right now, just because Hader's look phenomenal.
The pitch, and that's going to be in the middle for a strike. Oh, this would be very terrifying. Ray could win the Cy Young, and Haniger gets paid $10 million to retire and go away.
Oh, and the sad thing is actually Robbie Ray is probably in the running.
The 0-1. Oh yeah, already running for All-Star.
Yeah.
Have John Rocker and Pat Mahomes Sr. come out of the pen. Ugh. John Rocker, he got cancel culture before it was cool to do it. And now here's the 0-2 and the pitch. And that is up high for a ball. Yeah, here's the thing about John Rocker. He had he went too far. There were points where it was like, okay. It's like, no, stop, you're done. Stop it. I can't believe I just said that. Now I'm going to get canceled. The 1-2 swing and a miss, strike 3.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah, John Rocker went as far as like, I don't think that we should have. New York is just weird. I mean, he wasn't wrong about the fact that it's all crowded, but then when he went into further depths, I was like, okay, you're done.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what are your thoughts on Pete Rose getting,
Reinstated?
Yeah.
Absolutely patronizing.
Yeah, though I'm all like, honestly,
I like
it's
this
not
one.
surprising.
No poop. John Rocker went too far, and it was pretty hard to get canceled in the early 2000s. That's impressive. Now the pitch to Mastroboni. Oh, what made it worse? John Rocker actually somehow made it worse. He put up an apology video right before his time to pitch at the Mets game. And guess what that apology video was met with? Boo!
Oh, no. You know what that also makes me think of? You remember that?
Now here's a fly ball
announcement?
to center field, right to the center fielder, and the Mariners are going to be down to their final out, which, by the way, I'm kind of confused why they benched Ben Williamson when he was already 2 for 3. What?
But it makes me also think of that announcer during that Reds Kansas City series when he got literally fired halfway through the game for something he said during the pregame.
Oh, my God.
And then during the middle of his apology, and he's all like, and Castellanos hits a home run.
Oh, Tom
hits a ball.
Brenneman. Tom Brenneman.
Yeah.
No, Tom Brenneman is my all-time favorite. It's just, why
And
were you doing that?
Castellanos hits it deep, and it is gone. It's a home
And
run.
I gotta go. I'm sorry. Bye-bye. Poor guy. He lost everything. The 0-1 to J.P. Crawford by
yeah.
Hampton. And that is going to
Always
be a
assume,
grounder right to
like,
third base.
spot.
And now here's a throw to first in time. and the ball game is over. The Angels take the first game of this 3-game series. Good for you, Josh. And the Mariners, they continue to struggle. They've now lost 4 in a row.
Astros
And you
move a little bit forward.
know what the Mariners are saying? Move along. Move along.
You do not need to see our identification.
These aren't the wins we're looking for. These aren't the wins you're looking for. These aren't the wins we're looking for. We can go about losing. Move along.
Move along.
Oh, Joe Stevens, before you go, would you like to join the show? I would welcome you to give me some opinions about how this game. Oh, looks like he's about to leave. Never mind. Wasn't even paying attention. Bored of baseball. The Dodgers will win probably anyway. Cole Young's got to step up. Yeah, when you're batting like 050, of course you got to step up. 3 straight 1 losses in a row. Yep, that'll do it.
The Dodgers have not looked nearly as good. Oh, end of overtime 1 in the Stanley Cup.
Oh, man. It looks like everyone seems to be checked out for the rest of the game. You know what? I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm checked out too. I think we're done. I'm tired. You're like at 11:03. I'm at 9:03, and I want to get some fresh air and walk. But anyways, I just want to say thank you for being on this show. This time the engagement was like rapid fire. So many people were talking, so I'm okay with that. I could care less about the views. I know I should, but when I have people engaging, I'll take it. I'll more than take it. Now, bro, the game's still not over. Yeah, no, the game is over. Oh, the Stanley Cup is what you're talking about.
Yeah. Which is kind of
yeah. Yeah, it is. Well, anyways, I'm going to take off. I got some videos to edit, and I got a big Julio, you suck video to make. I mean, one game's not going to do it for me, but anyways, have a good night, and go Mariners.
Go Astros.
Maybe. They're probably going to get swept. Bye-bye.